Hey, what's going on guys? Tanmay for Telusko Learnings, and in this video tutorial, we're going to be continuing with our DOM manipulations that we saw in the previous video of this JavaScript tutorial playlist. So again, in this video what we're going to be doing is we will be taking input from user from a text box, and then we'll show a message, or you can do anything with that once we take it. So let's first start off with creating a text box. As you can see, I have a blank HTML document and you can see nothing in the output as of now. So let's add some HTML elements first. So first thing I'm gonna add is an input text. So the way we go about is you just type in input, and I will say id is equal to text1. I will give a placeholder value. So what this is, I'll tell you. So I'm gonna say enter anything. So there you go, you can see in the output over here. Now this is a very enlarged version because I have zoomed in. If I say Ctrl 0, you can see it becomes very small, but then it won't be visible, so that's why I just zoomed in a little bit. Okay, so we have our first text box. This is how you create a text box in HTML. I hope you have a basic idea about this. This is a HTML5 text box. The next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna give a break br tag, and then I'm gonna create a button. I'm gonna give it an ID of btn1, close the button, and here I'm gonna say click me. Okay, so the idea here is we enter something in the text box. When we click on this click me button, we will get an alert box, we will get a pop-up message, we will print this text into that alert message. Okay, so this is what we are going to do in this video. So now, as of now, we don't have any functionality on this button. So just what we did in the previous video, we are going to be doing the same thing, just that we are going to be using this text box value instead of that h2 tag that we used in the previous video. So again, when we click on this button, we want something to happen, and that something can be done using functions. So again, on click event of the button, and on click we want something to happen. So I'm going to say fn1. So this is the name of the function. We are giving a function call over here on click. So you have to create this function. As of now, we haven't yet created it. So let's do that. So here I'm going to say function fn1. So this is the name of our function fn1, and we are doing this inside the script tag. So now what we'll do is we'll create a variable where str is equal to, we're going to be using the document object. So document is a by default object provided by JavaScript, which will access the entire document. I'm going to say dot getElementById. So this is something that we saw in the previous video also. What this method of document object does is whatever ID you pass in the opening and closing round brackets. So in this case, it has to be text1. Okay. So this is our input text, and we've given it an ID of text1. So I'm going to pass that ID over here. So this method will get reference to this input text, and then we can get its value by using dot value property. Okay. So this dot value is a property of text boxes wherein we can take the value inside the text box, and what we're doing here is we're storing it in our str variable. Now we're just storing it over here. We have to also pop up the alert box. So we're going to call the method alert. Inside the alert, I'm going to say value inside the text box is colon, and I'm just going to append the str string variable that we created over here. So let's enter something. I'm going to say Tanmay. By the way, I forgot to mention what this placeholder is. This placeholder basically is shown when nothing is entered. Okay, so you might have seen this in many text boxes on websites wherein until and unless you type anything, there is some indication. So basically this is given to let you know what you have to type in. So sometimes it is username or password depending upon what that text box or that field is going to do. So I'm going to say username, and then a person will know, okay, you have to type in username over here. So this acts as a placeholder itself, and this is one of the attribute you can say of this input type text. Okay, so there is no value currently inside this. You can see we are at this cursor, so it's blank. It's just an indication that what we have to type in. Okay, so I'm just gonna say Tanmay, and if I click on this button, there you go, you can see value inside the text box is Tanmay. So this means that our functionality is pretty much done over here. What we did is we took input from user in a text box and we showed it. Now let's say you want to perform some activity based on what user inputs. So this is something that now you can do. So what I would ask you guys to do as a homework or just a added practice is create two text boxes, give them two different IDs, give one placeholder as username and the next one as password. And when you're creating a password input text, so let me just show it to you as well. Let's say if I create text2, there is a type attribute associated with input types, and when I say type equal to password, and in this I'm gonna say password. So if I type anything, you can see that I get these dots, right? So this is what this input type does. So I'm specifying that this input text box is only gonna take password, so directly do not show what you type in. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is just create 2 text boxes and take value from the user, and on the button click what you have to do is, if username and password matches, you have to show a message in the alert box that username and password is same, and if it doesn't, you have to say it does not match. So another hint, that is you have to use if else in your function. Okay, so that's it for this video guys. This was just a small video wherein we learned how to take value from user from a text box, and then you can perform any activity as you want. If you're a beginner, definitely try out this activity that I told you. If you don't get it, let me know in the comments. I would try to